I had Dalit. The stalks of figs, dried figs.
Aleph, Aleph.
You're
Mm.
right. I
Yeah.
put it in the wrong place. Okay, that's yours. You keep doing
Yeah.
this. Keep on to your job. Okay.
Mhm. You're sounding a little bit hoarse there. Are you okay?
Yeah, I got a cold. I'm really excited about it. I thought I got through the winter without a cold.
Ah,
One may not put fig cake or dried figs into fish brine because he spoils them, but one may put wine into brine. One may not put perfume oil, but one may make wine into honey wine. And one may not boil truma wine because he diminishes it. And Rabbi Yehuda permits because he improves it. Date honey, apple wine, and winter grape vinegar, and all other fruit juices of truma. Reb Eliezer declares them liable to the value and the added fifth, but Reb Yeshua exempts. Reb Eliezer declares them unclean as liquids. Reb Yehuda said the sages did not count the seven liquids as those who count spices, but they said that seven kinds of liquids are unclean and all the others are clean. One may not turn dates into honey or apples into wine or winter grapes into vinegar, and no other fruit of truma or Meiser sheni may be changed from its natural state, excepting only olives and grapes. One does not receive 40 lashes on account of orla, excepting for what issues from olives and grapes. No liquid is brought to the bikurim except that what issues from olives and grapes, and nothing is rendered unclean as a liquid except what issues from olives and grapes, and one does not offer up on the altar except what issues from olives and grapes. Okay.
okay. Daled. Ukteit einim grogros v'klisim v'charuvin shel truma. So you've got produce that is truma produce, and but they've got stems as well, and the stems have got, there's a little bit of food on the stems.
Right.
So those things are still prohibited to non-Kohanim. Okay, you might have thought that okay, they're just part of the stem, so it's so if he wants to chew on it, well, that's his business. But it's got actual food in it. It's difficult to detach it completely, and therefore it is asur to the non-Kohanim. Okay, more on that in Mishnah Hay. Garine truma, bizman shehu mechansan asura. So the seeds, anytime that the Kohen is interested in them, basically, if the Kohen still wants to chew on them or eat them or whatever, then they are still considered truma. Okay, asuros for im hishlichan mutaros. But if he threw them away, then immediately they lose their status as food. And if you have some poor Israel who's looking for scraps of whatever to eat, then he's allowed to eat these. Similarly, v'chein v'atzmos hakodshim bizman shehu mechansan, if you've got bones left over from the from let's say a chatas that a coin has been eating, and if he's still got, if there's still meat on it, he would still pack it away in his fridge to carry on eating. That's still asur to the zar. But if as soon as he tosses them out in the bin outside, if you've got some hungry Israel who's just looking for any scrap of food, then he's allowed to take that piece of meat and chew on the bones, or take that bone and chew on it. Hamursan mutar. Mursan is bran. So that is the very coarse bran, at least. So nowadays that's considered like something that you'd have to add to your food because it's healthy and helps with your digestion. But Bismana Mishnah, bran was considered ich. That's animal stuff. Okay, so the bran of truma is considered mutar for a non-kohen. Subin shel chadashos asuros, and the Subin is not the same as Mursan. It's also kind of a bran, but it's a little finer,
Fine
right?
grain. Right.
Fine bran. Then Shel Chadashos. If it's from new grain, that is Asur Tizarim. V'Shel Yeshanos Mataris. But if it's from old grain, um, when you say Yeshanos, let's just see again the definition. Subin Shel Chitim Yeshanos. Yeah, because these are now dry and have been ground well, and so that would be considered mutar to a non-Kohen. Nosein b'truma kederech shehu no v'noheg b'truma kederech shehu noheg b'chulin. And when the coin takes out the bran um, from his flour, if he's sifting it,
Right.
he can throw it away just like he would with chulin. He doesn't have to worry about being mafsid truma. Just toss it, and it's the same as he would with chulin. Okay. Hamsales kavu kabayim nisa'ah. So if someone is sifting his flour and he comes out with a cove or two coves for from a sa'a of the original product. Okay. Um, so he takes so basically he takes a sa'a of kemach of truma and takes out from it a cove or two coves of solis of fine flour in order to make a very clean white flour bread. Lo ya'abed es hashar, he cannot destroy the rest. So that's just too much. If he's trying to make like a super fine mix, and he's sifting out stuff that's actually really is pretty okay. So if he doesn't want it anymore, then he has to put it on the side and let it spoil, but he can't be mafsid biyadayim.
Okay.
Okay. Of Megura Shepina Mimena Chitze Truma. So he's got a box or a tray or whatever it is. It's a container for putting flour in, and
Mhm.
he had truma inside that container. Okay, and now but it was a big one. Okay, so now let's say it was kernels of chita of wheat, kernels of wheat that were truma, and he's used them up. And now he wants to reuse the container for chulin. Okay, now does he have to go after and make sure every last kernel of truma is removed? And the answer is no. Don't have to go picking them out one by one. Once he's cleaned it up sufficiently to say that I don't care about the rest, that I don't care has immediately taken it out of any sort of chashash of truma. Ela mechabed kedarko v'nohsein lesoch hacholin. So he sweeps it out the way he would normally do with changing produce, and whatever he's left behind he doesn't care about, and the chulin goes in and nullifies it. Okay.
All right. Um, let me see.
Yes, Yud Aleph.
You, where am I? Regarding both this and that, Rabbi Yeshua said, "This is not the truma which I am forbidden not to render unclean, only which I may not eat, and which may I not render unclean." If he was passing from one place to another with loaves of truma in his hands, and a non-Jew said to him, "Give me one, and I shall render it unclean, and if not, I shall render all unclean." Rabbi Eliezer says, "Let him render all unclean, and let him not give him one to render unclean." And Rabbi Yeshua says, "Let him place one before him on a stone." And so, too, women to whom non-Jews said, give us one of you, and we shall defile her, otherwise we will defile all of you. And all of them be defiled, and let them not hand over to them one Israelite soul. This mission, if one sowed truma, if in error, he must plow it over. But if willfully, he must let it grow. If it reached a third of its growth, whether in error or willfully, he must let it grow. And in the case of flax, if willfully, he must plow it over. Okay.
Shvius. Yes, Yud.
Okay. This one, they also said before him, Rebbe Eliezer used to say, he who eats bread of the Kuthians is like one who eats pork. He said to them, "Be silent. I will not tell you what Rebbe Eliezer says about this. If a bath has been heated with 7 years straw or stubble, one is permitted to wash in it. If he is a distinguished guest, he may not wash in it. Rue, goose foot, garceland, hill coriander, water parsley, and nettle berries are exempt from mysoreres and may be brought from anyone in the 7th year, since no watch is kept over the like of these. Rabbi Yehuda says, tzvichim of mustard are permitted, since transgressions are not suspected concerning them. Rabbi Shimon said, all tzvichim are permitted except tzvichim of cabbage, since the like of these do not exist among wild vegetables, but the king come and say all tzafikim are forbidden.
Okay, let's go and finish off brachas.
Yeah, wow, we're moving along here. Okay. Okay, Dolly. Whoever enters a walled city recites two prayers, one when entering and one when leaving. And Azai says four, two when he enters and two when leaving. One gives thanks for the past and supplicates for the future. I can't talk.
Oh, running out of steam with your voice.
Yeah, yeah, man. The one is obliged to bless for the evil, just as one blesses for the good, since it is said, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, with all your life, and with all your might. With all your heart, with both of your inclinations, the good and the bad, and with all your life, even at the cost of your life, and with all your might, with all of your maternal possessions. Another interpretation of with all your might, whatever the caprice of God makes out to you, thank Him very, very much. How one should avoid showing disrespect in the direction of the Eastern Gate because it is a direct line with the holy of holies. One may not enter into the temple of Mount with his stick, with his shoes, with his wallet, and with his dust of the feet, and nor may he may enter. One may make it shortcut and cut into spit. All the concluding formulas, wherever the heretics taught corruptly, and said there is only one word, one world. They entered I'm sorry, they instituted that they should say from everlasting to everlasting. They also said, although ordained that people should greet one another with the use of one name, as it says, and behold, Boaz came from the Lechem and said to the reapers, the Lord should be with you. And they replied, the Lord bless you. And it says, good be with you, O mighty man of valor. And it says, despise not your mother when she is old. And it says, it is time for it to act for the Lord. They have made the void your beloved, your Torah. Where Nathan says they uh, have made void your Torah because of the time to act for the Lord. I'm sorry, I just can't,
No.
you know.
Adrian Alech Maseches Barachas. Have you got payout?
Hey, no, I don't know. I didn't know we were supposed to take it out. I'm sorry.
Go for
Want me
it.
to get it?
We didn't
Want me to
mention
get it?
it yet today.
I'll These things have no measure. The corner, the first fruits, the deeds of loving kindness, and study of the Torah. These are the things that the fruits of which man enjoys in this world, and the principle remains for him in the world to come. The honoring of one's father and mother, the deeds of loving kindness, and making peace between man and his fellow, and the study of Torah is equal to all of them.
Okay.
Okay, we're on to Olio. Yud Gimel Gimel. A hole in the door should be measured with the size of a fist. These are the words of Rebbe Kiva. Reb Tarfon says this hole is measured with a square handbreadth. If the carpenter left a space at the bottom of the top and he did not complete the door or the wind opened the door, the hole is measured with the size of a fist. There is no minimum size for a hole that is made for a stick, a sword, or a lamp, according to Beit Shammai. But Shimon says a square handbreadth. If a hole was made to be a peephole to speak with his friend or for another usage, the minimum size is a square handbreadth. The following items reduce the opening to less than a handbreadth. Less than an olive-sized piece of flesh reduces the opening of the sausage's tumor is a quarter of a cob of bone. A piece of bone smaller than a barley cone reduces the opening of the sausage's tumor is an olive-sized piece of corpse flesh. Less than an olive-sized piece of coarse flesh, less than an olive-sized piece of carcass, less than a lentil-sized piece of sherrits, less than an egg-sized piece of food, grain covering the window, a thick spider web, the carcass of a kosher species of a bird that was not designated for food, the carcass of a non-kosher species of bird that was designated for food but was not rendered capable of contacting tumor, or was rendered capable of contacting tumor but was not designated for food. Okay. Okay, Gimel Hay. If Gentiles worship mountains and hills, they are permitted. But what is it? What is what is upon them is prohibited, as it is said, you shall not cover the silver and gold that is upon them and take it. Rav Nossi Yagili says their guards upon the mountains, but not the mountains are their guards. Their guards upon the hills, but not the hills are their guards. Why why is an Asherah prohibited? Because it has been affected by human involvement, and anything which has been affected by human involvement becomes inhibited. Rabbi Akiva says, I will expound and deliberate before you. Every place that you find a high mountain or a raised hill or a green tree, know that an idolatrous object is there. If one's house adjoined an idolatrous shrine and it collapsed, it is forbidden to rebuild it. How shall he do it? He withdraws 4 cubits into his own property and builds. If it belonged both to him and the idolatrous shrine, it is judged to be half and half. Half. Its stones, timber, and mortar contaminate with tuma, as does so does the sherets. There are 3 categories of idolatrous buildings. A building which is constructed from the very beginning for idolatrous worship is prohibited. If he whitewashed it and decorated it for idolatrous worship or made renovations, one removes what he renovated. If he brought an idol into it and took it out, it is permitted. There are 3 categories of idolatrous stones. A stone which he used from the very beginning for a pedestal or is prohibited. If he whitewashed it and decorated it for idolatrous worship or he made renovations, one removes what is removed, renovated. If he mounted an idol upon it and removed it, it is permitted. There are 3 categories of asheros. A tree which is planted from the beginning for the purpose of idolatrous worship is prohibited. If he lopped or trimmed it for the purpose of idolatrous worship and it sprouted, one removes whatever sprouted, and if he set an idol underneath it and nullified it, it is permitted. One is an Asherah, one with anyone beneath which there is an idol. But Shimon says anyone that they worship, and it happened in Sudan regarding a tree which they worship, and they found beneath it a mound. Reb Shimon said to them, inspect this mound. They inspected it and found an image of it in it. He said to them, since they worship the image, we will permit the tree to them.
Yeah.
Okay. And here we go. Terumos. Terumos. Base Zion. 2 men who betrothed 2 sisters, and neither one knows which one he has betrothed. Each of them gives 2 divorces. If they died and each one left a brother, each performs chalitza with both. If one left one brother and the other left 2 brothers, the single brother performs chalitza with both, and of the 2, one performs the chalitza, and the other may perform yibum. However, if they went ahead and married them, we do not force them to divorce. If each left 2 brothers, a brother of one performs chalitza with one of the sisters, and a brother of the other performs chalitza with the other sister. Then the 2 remaining brothers may each perform yibum with the widow who received chalitza from the other brother. If both went ahead and performed chalitza, the other 2 may not both perform yibum, but one must perform chalitza, and the other one may perform yibum. However, if they went ahead and married them, we do not force them to divorce. The commandment is for the eldest to perform yibum, but the youngest anticipated him; he gains it. One who is suspected of connection with a slave woman, and she was then freed, or in connection with a non-Jewish woman, and she then converted, she may not marry her. But if he did marry her, we do not force upon him to divorce her. One who is suspected in connection with another man's wife, and they compelled him to divorce her, even if he married her, he must divorce her. And one who brings the bill of divorce from overseas and says it was written before me and signed before me may not marry the wife. If he declares he died, I killed him, we killed him, he may not marry the wife. Yehuda says if he declares I killed him, his wife may not marry. We killed him, his wife may marry. Yeah. All
Okay.
right. Sorry, I can't.
No worries. Before
All
Shalem,
right.
hope
Thank
your
you. I
voice back
wanted to
tomorrow.
give about that